Economic integration is an agreement among nations that typically includes the reduction or elimination of trade barriers and the coordination of monetary and fiscal policy. Economic integration aims to reduce costs of both consumers and producers to increase trade between the countries involved in the agreement. Economic integration can reduce the cost of trade, improve the availability of goods and services, and increase customer purchasing power in member nations. The level of integration defines the nature and degree of economic links among countries.
The four levels of economic integration. We have free trade area, we have custom unions, we have common market, and also the last one is economic union. Free trade area is the least restrictive and loosest form of economic integration among countries. All barriers to trade among members countries are removed. The customs union. Members of customs unions dismantle barriers to trade in goods and services among themselves, establishes a common trade policy with respect and non-members. The common market, it has no barriers to trade among members and has a common external trade policy. Members must be prepared to cooperate closely in monetary, fiscal, and employment policies. Economic union requires integration of economic policies in addition to the free movement of goods, services, and factors of production. Harmonized monetary policies, taxation, government spending, and a common currency would be used by all the members.
Arguments surrounding economic integration. Trade creation and trade diversion. Trade creation will mean that consumption shifts from high-cost producer to a low-cost producer and trade therefore expands. Trade diversion is trade shift from a lower-cost producer outside the Union to a higher-cost producer inside the Union. Whereas trade creation is positive in moving toward fair trade, and therefore lower prices for consumers within the economic union, the impact of trade diversion is negative. Reduce import prices. When a small country imposes a tariff on imports, the price of the goods will typically rise, which will in turn result in lower demand for the imported goods. When a block of countries imposes the tariff, the fall in demand for the imported goods will be substantial.
Increased competition and economies of scale. Integration increases market size and may result in a lower degree of monopoly in the production of certain goods and services. It reduces the protection measures and liberalization of regional trade. Economic scale. Economies of scale are cost advantages reaped by companies when production becomes more efficient as the number of goods being produced increases. It can be achieved by increasing production and lowering costs. Higher factor productivity and regionalism versus nationalism. Higher factor productivity. When factors of production are freely mobile, the wealth of the common market countries in aggregate will likely increase. Factor mobility will not benefit each country in the common market. Regionalism versus nationalism. The biggest impediment to economic integration remains the reluctance of nations to surrender a measure of their autonomy.